Hi guys, welcome back to Alamat Short Stories, where we narrate short stories submitted or researched by our team to share with you all. This week's story is about this girl's experience when she was walking down a railroad. This tale is called The Train Bridge. The sun was just setting as Gabby, a West Coast transplant, continued her walk down the cowboy trail towards the railroad bridge just outside Valentine, Nebraska. Gabby had become more familiar with the area since moving to the small town a little over a year ago. It was a cool October evening, and she hadn't met a soul since beginning her stroll, which was just how she liked it. Gabby was an introvert and had a keen understanding of that fact, that she was socially awkward. That being said, Gabby was now 16 and the boys were starting to take notice of her. Long black hair and the olive skin she got from her Filipino mom made her a unique find in such a small town. The sun had just vanished beyond the horizon when she reached the quarter-mile-long railroad bridge. There should be enough light to get to the other side and back, she thought to herself. So on she went. The river and the sounds of crickets and other nightlife could be heard all around her. A very relaxing stroll indeed. Everything changed in a matter of seconds. About 200 feet ahead of her, at the south end of the bridge, she could make out two figures. They just stood there looking at her. Her pulse quickened, and her palms began to sweat. Who were they, and why aren't they moving? Seemed they were waiting for her. At this point, she made a decision to just turn around and begin walking back to the other side of the bridge. Being quite athletic, she could outrun them if need be. After a few seconds, she turned around and was relieved to see the two figures hadn't moved. They were still standing there, just watching. Creeps, she muttered under her breath. The sound of night were in full effect now, and the moon, mostly covered by clouds, was now providing more light than the fading western horizon. Gabby began to hum a little Lady Gaga when she stopped in her tracks once again. Two figures, just like the ones on the south side of the bridge, were now in front of her. She swung around to see the other two figures, which were now heading towards her. There was nowhere to go. Then came the catcalls. "You lost, little girl?" said one. "Wow, you are one pretty little thing," said another. They were getting closer, and her only option to avoid confronting them was to jump over the railing, plummeting 1,000 feet to her death. The four men were now on both sides of her at the midpoint of the bridge. Their faces were unveiled as the moon broke through the last of the nighttime clouds. An ambulance and fire truck blared their sirens as they raced to the railroad bridge next morning. Joggers had stumbled upon a horrific sight. It was as if the butcher shop was relocated to the middle of that bridge. Blood and body parts were strewn everywhere. That morning, coroners and police gathered for a brief news conference. "We have 4 deceased young men. All seem to have died by some sort of animal attack, very similar to previous attacks in the area over the past year. We have contacted the local wildlife refuge to conduct additional analysis, though, once again, we believe it to be the work of the same pack of unknown animals as in the previous cases. Names of the deceased will be released once proper family are notified. Thank you." The school horn blared, sending students quickly to their first period classes. Gabby rushed into the school late. It had been a long night. What do you guys think of this week's story? I personally thought it was creepy. And what kind of Filipino creature could she have been? If you have any idea, share them in the comment section below. If you're enjoying the content so far, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this channel to your friends and family. If you have stories you would want me to narrate, send them over at mralamatph@gmail.com. Salamat guys, and see you in the next one.